How he's feeling now.
Volume 15.
Koenig. Diffusion. Ball actually headed on in the direction of Tejan Buchanan. It's a good little tussle between Buchanan and Kolasinac down that right-hand side as Canada attack, and they've got another corner kick.
And he's got packs of pace, hasn't he, Buchanan? So he knows that he can play on the shoulder of Kolasinac. Kolasinac at the moment is doing well against him.
Derek Cornelius sniffing around. Diffusion. And Onurashea around the penalty spot as well. Just cleared Onurashea. This is Miller and David. And again, Jonathan David, the spinning ball, bumped in the back. Free kick.
Just a little bit too eager, wasn't he, to win that ball? Didn't really have to make the foul. Jonathan David wasn't going anywhere, wasn't causing a problem. Happy to go to ground and win his team another free kick.
Eustachio to take this. Miller's lurking on the edge of the area, so is Kone. Obviously worked a lot on set pieces, we've seen that already. It is pulled back exactly to Ishmael Kone, but his first touch wasn't really good enough. Larea. Miller. Good header from Muharimovic, and Bosnia can break. Fairly won. Jonathan David's done really well there. Koenig. Miller. This is Demirovic looking for the return pass. Which couldn't get it through. Two red shirts in front of him.
And simply Miller there could have taken his man down the line, and saw it earlier on when he got that lovely little dink ball to the back post. Makes your game up as much as possible. See a few times like he's just jumped inside now.
5 matches. Austria, Wales, Italy, North Macedonia and Panama all finished all square. Stefan Eustachio, half an hour play. Diffusion. Koenig. Felt he was just pushed there as he made the clearance by Onurashea. Miller, opportunity to get it in the box. It was a waving leg from Amar Dedic, which got enough of the ball for the referee. Kone. It's not a bad ball in, it might come back to Onurashea. Won't find Jonathan David though.
It's a little bit raw, isn't he, Onurashea? Just needs a little bit more composure, slow himself down when he gets in good areas. Just almost swiped at the ball there.
Here he is again. What's he like on his left? He's lifted it over the top. Well, that is the second very presentable of the chance that Canada have had in this game. Onurashea off target.
Initially he does so well, just uses his body, a little nudge on the defender. And then sets himself, and you're thinking, now compose yourself, now slow yourself down, relax yourself. It sits up, it can never get it back down. Should be doing better. Again, should be hitting the target. Two big opportunities now that Canada have had.
Diffusion with the forward ball. Johnston. enjoying the tackle, Kolasinac.
Yeah. It's been a good response from Canada since they went a goal down and since we had the water break. Remember Jesse March has said it's had a positive impact on the team. Now they've got to capitalise whilst they're on top.
Johnston to chuck this throw goalwards. It's a Lupa which is headed behind by Jovan Lukic. One of several players actually in the Canada squad have only recently really returned from injury. Alistair Johnston had hamstring surgery, which kept him out from October to April. Clearance from Tarovic, the chase is on here, and Memic, who is swift, has got there. And won himself a throw-in.
Yeah, it's good for Memic. Just relieves a little bit of pressure off his team. Needed an outlet. Wanted to get runners forward there. McVeigh does well in that. Just making sure that he's covering.
Should be head on, cleared away by Cornelius. Kolasinac. Good header, Cornelius absolutely dominated Demirovic. Just a little bit tend to play in this first half. That's given away. It is a throw-in, but not from where Johnston was planning to take it.
I guess initial throw didn't go into play, Steve. That's why he was asked to retake the throw-in.
Here's Liam Miller playing in the Premier League next season. Cornelius, Fougeron, Johnston. Kept in just by Miller. That ball actually, Kone has it under control. Oh, O'Shea wanted the pass, it was well cut out by Ivan Basic.
So the play there, Kone, the initial part so well, and then just has to feed the ball into Jonathan David. When they do lose it in that midfield area and commit them forward, Canada, they are susceptible to that counter-attack from Bosnia.
As Jonathan David push, doesn't really matter, on they go, Stacchio gets it wide, Johnston. Stacchio. Miller. Well tracked by Dedic. Well on by Kone. Liam Miller again. Tarovic in front of him. Miller's done well. Has it gone behind for a corner? Yes, it has.
Yeah, it's positive again from Miller. This time going down the line, winning his team a corner. Sticks the crowd up again. It's the defenders on the back foot. Exactly what you want.
So Canadian corner kick. Stefano Stacchio will take this. Well, he just looked for the head of Ola O'Shea, nearly found it as well. The scoop from Jonathan David hits there, Kolasinac. One or two of the Canadian players are saying they hit him on the arm.
Kolasinac doesn't realise that it's hit him and gone out for a corner. He walked off as if it was a goal kick, and he was quite happy to let the ball run out of play. It's not a handball, it's his side as it goes out. Could that be costly now? Kolasinac.
Stacchio with another Canadian corner kick. Just cleared Derek Cornelius, although O'Shea got something on it. Cleared away by Dedic. Ishmael Kone for Canada. Maxime Crépeau. Toujours. Tejan Buchanan, nice little step over. Change of pace. It's got to be another corner, hasn't it? Yes, it has.
Yeah, it's really good from Buchanan. I just think why not hunt the touchline more from his point of view. Give your fullback Alistair Johnson the opportunity to feed you the ball, get in 1v1 situations. Played a very narrow role in this first half.
Stacchio. Cornelius. Miller. Very good header. So Lukic not only scored a goal, but he's played extremely well in front for Bosnia and Herzegovina so far, holding the ball up and doing his defensive duties and scoring the goal. But they're under pressure here. A succession of corners. This one played short to Buchanan. Back to Stacchio. Ishmael Kone. Knocked in cleared by Katic. Nodded on by the Fugerol. Lost it high by Muharremetovic. Miller with a little touch. There's this dropping. Jonathan David couldn't quite control it. That's not easy to control. Not absolutely certain he was onside either, but we may get a chance to judge.
Such a difficult skill as it's dropping out the sky. Player of his quality, you feel like he could have controlled that better. Just looking at the set pieces that Canada have taken, they've taken a lot of short corners. They obviously feel that Bosnia are better equipped to deal with those corners coming in. They want to shift players about and make it awkward for them.
Derek Tanovic looking for Dedic. Stacchio's there. To Fugerol. Miller. Rea. Fugerol. Fugerol facing the sun is actually under threat because, well, he's got Vito, the Nice central defender, who's barely played any football this season because of injury. He was officially declared yesterday to be available for selection. It's not quite fit to play. That may come in the game against Qatar and Switzerland ahead, in which case the Fugerol would be probably to step out.
One TV.
Actually born in Wisconsin, the Bosnian number 20, PSV Eindhoven winger. Miller with the throw. Shea won the header. Way by Dedic, Eric Tarovic. Nicely worked that. Tahirovic getting it wide, Manic. Johnston's got his hands full, but he's done well.
Tarovic is the one player with real quality for Bosnia. In tight areas, he's the one that just relieves that pressure off them and allows them to switch the ball onto the opposite side there to Manic, who gets the run. And Alice Johnson, credit to him, didn't dive in this time after picking up the yellow card.
It's the Reds who have the Blues at the moment. With Bosnia leading by a goal to nil. Ser Kolasinac after this throw. It's extremely ambitious of Benjamin Tahirovic. Canada's record against European opposition has improved. They've had a couple of wins in the last 12 months against Romania and Ukraine. Still feeling this, Derek Cornelius, play has stopped. And they had gone 14 years without beating a European side. It's a yellow card for Ermedin Demirovic for this on Cornelius.
Yeah, it's a little bit late. Cornelius has made the most of it. There's always going to be a clash when you're trying to close the ball down, and there's always going to be contact between the two, just the motion of the legs coming together. I think the fans played a part in getting that yellow card, Steve.
Yeah, possibly. Johnston's forward ball, over Shea's header on. Chest off by Lukic. Johnston, well read. Harungovic with the forward ball, which Eric Tarovic is chasing. And it has gone where Larea wanted it to, which is behind for the goal kick.
He did well, didn't he, Larea, because it looked like Tarovic was going to get the run on it and get in behind it. It's a lovely sweeping ball out to him initially.
4 additional, a minimum there of, in what is the smallest venue of the 16 being used at this World Cup finals. Capacity around about 44,000 and a bit. Just a little smaller than Guadalajara. Here's the goal scorer, Jovan Lukic. Kolasinac. Tahirovic. Here's there to tidy up and find Buchanan, who's caught. And the card is coming out, and it's going to be a second quick fire yellow card here for Bosnia. Jovan Lukic was trying to win the ball. His foot was a little bit high, a little bit late, and just hooked Buchanan.
I think he just knew that if Buchanan got the ball, he was going to get in a 1v1 situation down that right-hand side.
I was looking at the attendances at MLS actually of Toronto FC, who play here. High teens is the norm. The last home game before the World Cup break for MLS, they played Inter Miami here, had a stadium record crowd of over 44,000. That's the power of Messi.
I wonder why that was.
Yeah. Katic. Tahirovic. Remic running in behind. He's quick, but he's not that quick. Koenig. Turns up Buchanan. Hits the corner flag on its way, so it's a throw, not a corner.
He decided to come inside there, Buchanan. And I think it was one of those situations where the defender almost pushed him in that way, but I'm thinking just keep on going down the line, keep on pushing yourself as wide as you can.
It's the referee cam. In the old days, they used to make video games look like football matches. Now they make football matches look like video games with that camera. Motion sickness alert. There's a chance. He's blocked it to corner again. Well, he really lashed out. Johnston came off the sturdy Seat Kolasinac. Well, can they turn a succession of set pieces into a goal? In comes the latest. Not this time. Well off target by Derek Cornelius, and that is the continuing problem for Jesse Marsh in Canada over recent weeks and months. Turning opportunities into goals.
It's just interesting that they had an out-swinging corner every single time they haven't thrown anything on top of the goalkeeper. Was that Ryan Reynolds then that I saw?
Yeah, I think it could be. Yes, he is. Well done. Well, that is half-time. Facundo Tejo says that'll do. And it's been a half to remember for Jovo Lukic, who scored his first international goal. Sergei Barbares, Bosnian side, are the leaders at half-time in the opening game in Group B. That corner kick flicked on at the near post, a routine that is as old as the hills, and Jovo Lukic took advantage. Half-time in Toronto. It's Canada 0, Bosnia and Herzegovina 1.
Yeah, that was Ryan Reynolds, and just 2 down from him was Mike Myers. I think anybody who's anybody in Canada is in that stadium, and they won't be displeased with the scoreline because they've played well in parts, haven't they? But Bosnia have just been efficient.
Yeah, very efficient. I feel as though Canada were maybe expecting a different game, more open game. I think Bosnia have been sitting in that low block, expecting Canada to come onto them and then trying to get them on the counter-attack. But Canada, when they get in them areas, they've got to do more. They've got to do more. It's not about quality. And then if, for the goal, which we'll show a little bit later on, if you're not going to score, concentrate on the set piece. The game, for me, has been frustrating because you've seen that they're trying to get the combinations and everything together, but it's just that final pass, that moment of quality that they've lacked in that first half.
You go with that, Olivier?
Yeah, I agree. They had a couple of chances with Oluwa Shiyi and Jonathan David. We're going to see it afterwards, but well, the importance of the set pieces. We see the goal and the move. Yeah. So yeah, it's going to be hard for Canada to come back in the game, I think.
Well, we'll maybe have a look at how they can do that. What you were impressed by, Wayne, was the speed with which Canada started, with real intensity, weren't they?
Yeah, I thought they started really well, and you see straight from the kick-off. If you watch here, go forward, not even thought going backwards, and then this into the channel, direct, positive, making it go through defence, and then if you look at every player that Canada did in the first third of Bosnia's backline, so I think that was a real intent, and I think that carried on for a few minutes until the game slowed down a little bit.
Yeah, and that's what we saw from Jesse Marsh's teams in the past, wasn't it? Was that high pressure, that intensity, and that led, of course, Olivier, to Jonathan David's chance.
Yeah, we're going to see it. I think that's not the best clearance from the defender.
Yeah.
I was a bit surprised. And I think David can hit it a bit better. I think he tried to be safe. Should have hit it with the laces, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, weak foot, but still, he's a good striker. Could have done better.
So what could he have done maybe differently? We talk about techniques and the way they strike the ball. He's going there maybe on his wrong foot. What's he done wrong? What would he do?
I would have tried to cross it. Regarding the position of the keeper, and also go stronger, go with laces. It was a bit safe, as I said. I think he will regret this one, but I wish him to get another one.
Yeah, and then, of course, as the game slowed a little bit, which it was bound to do at some point, the set pieces became more and more important.
Well, set pieces are so massive in any football, but especially in the World Cup. And if the ball comes in, it's all about can you get the first contact, and then when it comes out, as you mentioned here, on the edge, and then get the right connection on it. but he was starting to build a little momentum. As the ball comes back, it was recycles the ball back to him. It's there. Can they get the ball in the box? And even if you don't score, can you make something happen? Again, as I talked about Canada, defensively not good enough. Lukic, again, with the first contact. But then on the set piece from a corner, I can't believe they're so unorganised. It's ridiculous. And I'm looking at it in a little bit more detail here, because when you're on a corner in a situation, whether you're doing zonal or marking, everyone should know their job. You see Kolasinac there, he's making a rush, and Lukic who scores the goal. So we do it from an attacking point of view. Really good run and a really good finish. But here, as we look at the second angle, Astakio there, I don't understand. If we just hold that on that for a little moment there, because as you see the screen there, you've got 2v1, but you can see he's crossing it into the box. Where is he going? And as he comes out of that space, it allows him to head it on, and then he gets the finish. But talk about organisation in a World Cup, in a pivotal moment. These are the things that you should be doing better.
It's a detail. I think it's a detail which normally wins games, and that spot here is only corner, and they scored from it. And Canada have had 9 corners, and Bosnia have done really well. They're the details which win you games.
So much movement there, didn't you? As we're used to seeing, certainly in the Premier League. I mean, in top teams, there was quite static.
Well, that's what makes it even worse in terms of conceding it. There wasn't that much movement, but he managed to get a flick on and a header. I think in those situations there, you've got to make sure you set. What's the point of practicing set pieces all the way through if it's so easy to score a goal like this against you? Again, that movement, yes, you've got to applaud the movement and the header, but the second angle here, and it's a perfect angle to show there, because there is no danger out there. Stay in a position, as soon as it comes out, he gets the flick on, and it's a header.
Goalkeeper as well, he's still not present.
Should have stayed on his line a bit more, maybe. I think he goes too much on the first post and then allowed the striker to head it
If you're
almost.
out there in that World Cup and you're due to play Canada later in the group, are you looking at that set piece and thinking this is something that you're going to capitalise on?
Yeah, there's definitely something to use, seeing that this goal. But I think they're not going to make 2 times the same mistake, because as Micah said, Eustáquio position was wrong, and then behind him everything was disorganized. So then you need to be quick in your head to resolve the situation, and also we did not talk about the physical aspect of this team.
They've got 80%
Yeah. So very good in the air. When you win the duel,
1. TV.
No, but maybe if it isn't, I might have to go to call up.
Volume 15.
Apparently he just did enough sniping about the national team that they gave in the end, and then he qualified them for a World Cup. So it's all going well at the moment. With 45 minutes to come, of course, Canada. So just hold on. And now plenty more crowd pleasers are available on iPlay.
Bring on the crowd pleasers.
Players, every move you have made has led to this. I don't think I've seen anything so cool in my life.
No breaks on this boss, is there? From underdogs to fan faves.
Oh! Everyone, please stop picking balls at my head!
Keep everyone entertained beyond the final whistle on BBC iPlayer.
Well, now our next live game sees the third host nation get underway. USA versus Paraguay in Group D. That is later tonight. First one on BBC One and iPlayer. And of course, 5 times world champions Brazil take on semi-finalists of 4 years ago Morocco tomorrow from 10:30 p.m. That's followed by Scotland's World Cup return. Haiti, the opposition, and coverage begins at 1:10. And the other game in Group B sees Qatar take on Switzerland. You can listen to that on BBC Sounds from 8 o'clock.
What I want to speak about is much bigger than football.
The real tragedy of being afraid, it's what it takes.
I'm not a believer in fairy tales, but I am a believer in dreams. Nothing is ours by right. We've got to earn it. Keep going. Keep believing.
Dear England, watch now on BBC iPlayer.
From Dear England to Come On Scotland. Steve Clarke's team are all set for their first World Cup game since 1998. They face Haiti tomorrow, and here with the latest news from the camp is Hayley Varner.
Welcome to the Boston Stadium. This is where the 28-year wait for Scotland comes to an end, and alongside me the man who will walk the team out of the tunnel tomorrow night, Andy Robertson. Andy, I know you don't like to picture yourself in venues before the match starts, but now that you're here, now that you've had a look around, are you beginning to visualise what it might be like tomorrow night?
Yeah, look, it's now, we're on the eve of it, and I think, certainly the team hotel, it feels like Christmas Eve when you're a little kid, and yeah, look, obviously me being able to be in the stadium now, it's an incredible stadium, an incredible thing to be a part of, and yeah, look, I'm just so proud of everyone that's, all 26 that are going to be able to participate. We've been through so much in our lives and our careers to get to this point, and now we're right on the edge of it, and it's just been so special. And it feels the Denmark game was an age ago that we've waited so long for it, but now tomorrow's so close, and all the preparations done, and we're ready to go.
You've waited a little while as well since you've come out to America. You've had a few destinations on the way to get here, but being down in Charlotte with all you guys, the atmosphere has been so good. You've got the experiences of the previous 2 European Championships, but this one feels a little bit different in terms of the atmosphere and training and stuff. What's it been like being part of the squad for this major tournament so far?
Well, it's been excellent so far, and credit to the backroom staff as well. They've ticked every single box for us in terms of trying to get us used to the heat, the humidity, everything else that goes along with it, the time difference and things like that. So, look, for us, they've done all they can. Now it's up to us to do all we can, and we know we've been to the last 2 Euros, and it's probably not worked out the way we've wanted it to go, and it's up to us to go and put that right. It's going to be incredibly difficult. The teams that we're playing against are really good teams. It's not easy to get to a World Cup. We've seen that. We've felt the 20-year pain of trying to do it, and yeah, but we need to show up, and we need to show up on the biggest stage, and that's always been the message. It's always been the plan, and we've done that on many occasions in terms of qualifying campaigns and things like that. Now it's up to do it in the tournament. We've done it a couple of games, probably Switzerland the last Euros, England the Euros before that, but we probably need a little bit more this time, and hopefully we can produce that.
Hopefully you can. Cannot wait for tomorrow night. Have a good night's sleep tonight. We'll see you tomorrow, Andy.
Thank you very much.
It all kicks off here against Haiti.
1:10, our coverage starts. But of course, we've got Brazil-Morocco for you before that. And we're just debating whether you have a little nap or do you set your alarm. How are you going to
A little nap. You got a little nap. Yeah.
Have a nap at that time, you've got to stay up.
Stay up?
Yeah, you've got to stay up.
Good power nap will be nice.
We're all going to have to pace ourselves over the next 6 weeks, that's for sure. And I'm sure, like, the Tartan Army are having a great time already. The noise, the atmosphere, the colour they create. The players, though, must be just bubbling inside, Scott.
Oh, they must be. I think it's got that support behind them as well, and you know that excitement of playing the World Cup and knowing this first game is so important to them. I think the players will be feeling absolutely brilliant.
Well, you can see Bosnia come back out. Second half to come, Mike. How did Canada get back into this?
I think there's more quality. I think they've got some good positions. I think they need to be a bit more ruthless. Some of them chances that Jonathan David had, he could take them in the second half. I won't panic too much because they can leave themselves exposed on that counter-attack, but just be more ruthless in front of goal.
I think with the same energy, I think we could win the game. Just a bit more composure in front of goal.
Be careful about Edin Dzeko if he comes on.
Okay, we hope we might see him, but let's head back to the commentators. Stephen and Stephen.
Thank you very much, Gabby. It's Bosnia who will get the second half underway, kicking from right to left, leading by a goal to nil. The only other victory in World Cup finals football was in Salvador, Brazil, a 3-1 win over Iran. Here's Demirovic. Gathered by Maxime Creto. And if you are enjoying watching the World Cup live, and let's face it, you are watching the World Cup live or enjoying the highlights on the BBC iPlayer, and don't forget you do need a TV licence, so you can scan the QR code to get one. It's a free kick to Canada. Eustachio is going to take this. No half-time substitutions as yet. Both coaches sticking with what they had. Jesse Marsh will be hoping for improvement, though, as you say, Stephen, you know, they had the better of the game, having fallen behind, but didn't really test Nicola Vasil enough.
No, two great opportunities, should have done better. Like the guys in the studio were saying, more quality in forward areas. I'd like to say, see Buchanan on this right-hand side, really hook the touchline and drag Kolasinac out of position. It might just free up Jonathan David a little bit more, and he's dropping deep trying to affect the game, and it's just not working at the moment.
Johnston's forward ball. Tani Oluwaseyi taken away from him by Nikola Katic. Canada have a throw-in. Trying to get some energy back into the stadium. Alistair Johnston. Eustachio, Oluwaseyi. Katic standing firm. Lovely bit of skill by Oluwaseyi. Great stuff. That's why he's in the starting 11. It's a lovely bit of skill. Vasil got down. He's a big lad, Vasil. He got down very quickly, but what a touch that was.
Yeah, he's spoke before about him just before half-time. He's very raw, does some brilliant things. Then he gets himself in a great position, then it's picking a player out.
Buchanan hurled that. Nerea. The Fougerolles. Eustachio knocked over by Nikola Katic.
Just feel, Steve, if Canada put more pressure on Bosnia here, they're not completing passes. They find it so difficult to get out.
Tejan Buchanan's attempted cross over Lukic here. Taravic doesn't bother chasing that.
I think at half-time Jesse Marsh would have said there's nothing to fear about this Bosnia team.
Now, flag stays down for now. Oluwaseyi goes down. The goalkeeper goes down as well. Vasil and Oluwaseyi, they're calling for the physios here. They'll pick the bones under this. The first thing to say is he offside? And then they'll see what came after that.
The Canada players are telling me exactly what they think. They think it's a penalty. They feel that there's a collision between the two players, and that's the goalkeeper, Vasil, who takes out the striker.
Oluwaseyi is back on his feet. Nikola Vasil is most definitely not at the moment. Pretty certain it's inside the penalty area. Here we are.
First and foremost, is he onside? It's a very difficult one. That's going to be really close because it's Kolasinac at the bottom of the picture who's looking to play him on. Does he win the header? I think the goalkeeper, Vasil, just does enough, gets to the ball, then goes through the player. I don't think it's a penalty.
No, he's clearly got there. It's good goalkeeping, actually. It would have been interesting to see had they had to go to the geometry to work out whether he was on or off. But here's that bit of skill from Oluwaseyi.
Yeah, it's a lovely little drop of the shoulder, a little Cruyff turn, gets away. Now you just see that space there. Can he drive a little bit further? There wasn't much movement to help him in the middle of the area. Perhaps the little bit of skill took the players by surprise, and it happened so quick.
Lukic with a couple of headers, neither of which he really made proper contact with. Liam Miller. And Miller has snuck in behind Dedic, and he's off and running, Liam Miller. And his pass into Oluwaseyi is misplaced. Again in the final third, they struggle to find the right pass.
A lovely burst of pace there from Miller, shows his quality, but then again, just pick that final pass, just slow yourself down, make sure that you complete the pass, and there's an overload on this touchline down below us and on the edge of the penalty area.
Good play by Luka Fujol there to nick in ahead of Dimitrij Demirovic and win a free kick as a result. Kone. Miller trying to use that pace again. Dedic wasn't going to be beaten as easily this time.
Just doesn't need to foul him here. Yeah, that's well done from Miller. So often we see when a player is in a tight area like that, often the attacking player gives the foul away because they're desperate to get the ball.
Jonathan David for Liam Miller. Stefan Spacchio. Derek Cornelius, 4 in the box in red. And it's a comfortable take for Vasil. Fujol with a header. Tajon Buchanan. Well shielded behind by Sead Kolasinac.
Two good moments from Kolasinac. Firstly, the 1v1 where he went to ground, and then they're just holding his ground.
One TV.
Brilliant. Well, that is as good as a goal. No wonder he celebrated it. This is dangerous. It's Demirovic. And it's gone wide.
Demirovic. He should do better, but credit to Crepo. He hasn't had much to do in this game. Now he's conceded a goal. But that is a really good save from the goalkeeper. Not using his hands, but using his feet to challenge the striker. But this is the Kolasinac save again. Just brilliant from Kolasinac. There's the celebration as well. It could be vital.
That's the moment of the game so far. In comes the Bosnian corner. Crepo comes looking for it. Found it just about. Ishmael Kone here. There's a five-man wet counter-attack. Jonathan David can't squeeze it through. To Oluwaseyi. That's not a great clearance from Vasil. Eustachio. Miller. Not his finest moment.
No, but the game's just started to get a little bit stretched now. We're starting to see a few moments of better quality, higher end of the pitch. That moment from Canada. I'm sure Jesse Marsh is absolutely delighted with the way that they cut through Bosnia.
The rest is coaching staff there. Ewan Sharp, a Scot from Stirling. He'll be watching Scotland, Haiti, I'm sure. That's a throw. He can't be offside from the throw. It's Jonathan David. It's deflected, and Vasil. That was an important deflection from Katic because Oluwaseyi was in the middle. The game is getting pacier and a bit more open.
Yeah, we're getting stretched now, but credit to Bosnia. They're just holding out at the moment. So the first half was a little bit rigid, well organised from Bosnia. Now we're just starting to see a few gaps appear. He's deep in conversation, Steve, Jesse Marsh, with his coaching staff, but I think the first 10 minutes or so of this second half he'll be absolutely delighted with.
It feels like there are more goals in this. They're saying, and they're quite right, that he's taking too long about the throw-in. Sead Kolasinac, you only get 5 seconds now. And the throw is given to Canada as a result by Kolasinac, who had momentarily forgot one of those rule tweaks. Or law tweaks, I should call them, really.
I like it as well. I think it's a good rule. It speeds the game up. It's that time-wasting element, and teams just always playing for time.
Eric Cornelius with the header. Eustachio, Konen. It's a high boot. The referee had a good view of it.
Got well the two in midfield, Kone and Eustachio for Canada. They've marshaled that midfield area well. They've got more athleticism in the midfield. This player steeped in experience, Eustachio, at his time at Porto.
He still is a Porto player, though he was loaned to Los Angeles FC for the second half of the European season. Here goes the Bosnian free kick. Over Lukic to Sead Kolasinac. Keeper's coming for this. He better get there. Crepo. He did, but at the expense of a corner.
He has to catch that for me. You know, it's a long looping ball, but not really under any pressure. Take the pressure off the defence.
Ivan Basic with this corner kick for Bosnia-Herzegovina. Scored their goal from a corner. Up goes the heads, and they weren't a million miles away from scoring a second goal from a corner. Tarek Muhammadtic with the header over the top of the crossbar.
Another free header. There's not really much movement from him. You see the number 4 in the middle of the picture there. Just drops off half a yard. Free header. Difficult skill to get that on goal, but he'll be disappointed.
There's a host of Canada substitutions about to be made. This is the header which went over the top of the crossbar from Muharremavic. Tarovic had made a good run there, and it was important that Cornelius cut it out. Here's Liam Miller, Eustachio. The sight of three substitutes getting ready is maybe just put an extra bit of zip into Canadian legs. Kone. Quite lost it yet. Tahirovic has done well. Marek Tarovic.
Guide. All channels. 1. BBC One Unruly. MOTD Live. Kannada V. Audio description. 19 to 22:15. Synopsis. Bosnia-Herzegovina. Live coverage of the opening match in Group B between host nation Kannada and Bosnia-Herzegovina at Toronto Stadium. Also in HD. Ad. John.
We're going to see Promise David amongst the three Canadian substitutions in a minute. First off is Liam Miller, who is going to be replaced by Jacob Schaffelberg, who's recovered from recent groin surgery. He's an okay Miller at times, but I think he just wants to be a little bit more positive. He crosses into the box. Jonathan David is coming off, and so too Tejan Buchanan. So two very experienced leading lights, actually three really, with Miller as well, all coming off. Promise David is a centre forward, no relation to Jonathan David, but a player of promise. Ali Ahmed on for Tejan Buchanan. And the goal scorer makes way. Jovo Lukic, replaced by Samir Bashar. I think he's had a good game, hasn't he, Jovo Lukic?
Yeah, he's done well, he's held the ball up well, and he's just scoring his goal, so important as well, but I thought he was a decent focal point for them to build from.
Armin Gigovic on for Ivan Basic is the other change.
I can't say I'm too surprised to see Jonathan David leave the pitch. I think he was very effective. He's the star man for Canada. And he just didn't affect the game at all. Had that one opportunity in the first half, which he should have done better with.
Struggling to get this away. Bosnia at the moment. And the stadium was getting involved. There's a foul. There's two Bosnian defenders on the floor, actually. I'm not convinced that Armin Gigovic was really hurt, or that Benjamin Tahirovic was either. It's not a huge amount, is it, from Promise David? I'm not sure there's not that much that the Canadian centre forward could have done about it. Promise David is a 24-year-old, hip surgery in February, he's just recovered. Plays in Belgium with Union Saint-Gilloise, for whom he scored 15 times last season. Ali Ahmed here. Substitutes have all been involved already for Canada, who have a throw-in. Cutting inside nicely. Eustachio's slip was unfortunate. Promise David, it was just taken off his toe at the crucial moment by Nikola Katic. He's going for the big old swing.
Yeah, but he's such a presence, isn't he, in that area. Good play from Ali Ahmed on this near touchline, and he feeds it into Promise David. That's going to cause a problem for the Bosnian backline now. Just the physical presence now to be able to bounce the ball off.
Johnston for Canada. Can they find themselves an equalising goal? They've never won a point in World Cup finals football, Canada. They wanted all three, but they probably take one as it stands at the moment. And here is Eustachio. Eustachio shots!
Just always leaning away and falling away from the ball as he tries to take that shot. But now they're starting to find more gaps. They've got that pace on in wide areas, fresh legs. Eustachio has been a quality player for Canada in the middle of the park, the calm player. Just can't get that quality on that shot.
Given away carelessly by Tahirovic. Good recovery by Dedic. Memic forward, but nowhere near Bajna, one of the two Bosnian substitutes who came on. Oh, it's brilliantly controlled. Super touch by Schaffelberg. Gets the cross in. Up goes Oliver Shea, and it's off the line. Katic in the right place at the right time. They continue to knock Bosnia's door, Canada, and Bosnia continue to keep them at bay, but they're going to have to defend a free kick here. Bajna with a trip of Luke de Fougerolles.
They've got to continue this momentum. They've got to continue to put Bosnia under pressure, as you see a foul again from de Fougerolles. A great ball in from Schaffelberg on that left-hand side to the back post.
Ali Ahmed. Eustachio, has he kept it in? He has. Ali Ahmed again. Derek Cornelius gave it a worthy effort to try and keep it in, but it was always unlikely he'd reach that. Again, rather like Kolasinac early in the second half, right on the line.
Yeah, again, it's just making sure you're on the court. It was a little bit easier. There wasn't too much pace on the header. But it's, again, it's that positivity of getting forward. Jesse Marsh, he keeps on pushing his team to believe that they can get something out of this game.
Demirovic with the ball around the corner. This could be trouble. Barektarovic for Bosnia. Barektarovic going alone at the moment. He's going to need some help at some point. Maybe hung on to it too long. Larea made the block, and it's comfortable for Maxime Crepeau. You know, this could be a terrific last quarter of the game because it's end-to-end stuff, mostly from the left to the right end, but Bosnia are having their moments too. In the Canadian free kick here. We're on the cusp of a hydration break. And Bosnia will not be unhappy about that.
No, they won't. Canada won't want that at all, and that's one of the issues with the break, is it just breaks momentum within the game, and Canada have just got themselves going. It's often like when we see a VAR check, how much that can slow a game down and interfere with the momentum.
Is this the moment? Canada, free kick again, flipped in by Ali Ahmed, headed away. Serko Kolasinac goes to retrieve it for Bosnia. De Fougerolles. That's a little bit daft by the young defender, giving away a soft free kick. The referee inevitably then says, OK, let's take the hydration break, and the pressure is off Bosnia for the moment. So, 1-0 still midway through the second half of the game, and an opportunity for the coaches to do their thing. And of course you can scan the QR code on screen now to have your say with the BBC Sport Player Rater. more World Cup football tonight. USA against Paraguay, Group D, LA. That's BBC One at 1:30 in the morning and on the iPlayer. And tomorrow on the BBC, great double header, Brazil against Morocco. That's 10:30 BBC One and the iPlayer. That's Group C from New Jersey. And later into Sunday morning, if you can stay up, and you should, it's Scotland against Haiti from Boston, also BBC One and the iPlayer, also in Group C. And also Qatar and Switzerland, the other two sides in this Group B, will meet tomorrow. That is available on BBC Sounds. Jesse Marsh has got to earn his corn here, Stephen Warner.
Yeah,
He's got a couple of minutes to make a difference.
Yeah, he did it in the first half where when he got this opportunity to speak to his team, it helped them a little bit. They regained the ball more, they got more composure, more possession. I just don't think he'll have wanted that break then. I think he felt that his team understood what was being asked of them. They've been all the substitutes on the 3 substitutes. They've had an immediate impact in the game, getting on the ball, causing the Bosnians a lot of problems.
And will this little break that momentum? Well, there was Bosnian supporters just 22 minutes or so away from what might be only their second ever World Cup Finals victory. And Canada the same distance away from making it 7 defeats out of 7 in World Cup Finals football.
I think that's also playing its part in the game, Steve, that pressure on Canada being the home nation, one of the home nations, playing at home today, such a big occasion. They probably felt, looking at Bosnia, this was a good opportunity for them to start this competition well. And so far they've under-delivered.
Bosnia and Herzegovina will actually travel more miles than any other nation in the group stage of this World Cup for their matches in Toronto, LA and Seattle. More than 3,000 miles covered. Not as many as you and me, mate, though, over the next 4 or 5 weeks.
We'll give them a run for the money, won't they?
I think we'll be here longer than them as well, if I'm honest.
Do you? Got a big call, Steve.
It's a Canadian throw. Which will be clearance. Richie Larea with this throw in. De Fougerolles. Really had his pocket picked. It's clipped forward dangerously here. Bajnar's header. Didn't quite find Memic. Ali Ahmed for the home side running into Sead Kolasinac.
He doesn't want to look back though, does he, Ali Ahmed? It's almost like he's been given that licence just to run every time he gets the ball at his defender, take people on, lift this crowd, lift his teammates as well.
Norwich wide man replacing a Hull wide man, of course. Toronto born and bred, Ali Ahmed, home turf. Sir Davis watching on. I don't think we'll see him today. Had that ACL injury, and it's been followed by all kinds of muscle problems since he recovered from that. He hasn't played for his nation in 15 months as Sergei Barbarez prepares another couple of changes here. Ivan Sunjic is going to be coming on, once of Birmingham City. And also the young superstar, really, Kerim Arabegovic is going to be coming on. Has signed for Bayer Leverkusen from Red Bull Salzburg. We expected him to be in the starting lineup, but he's had to wait his moment to come on for Amar Memic. And that's a goal kick.
Just over 15 minutes to go now. You expect Canada to perhaps make a couple more changes and then really throw everything at Bosnia. I think this crowd are wanting a little bit more.
Johnston is controlled by Kone. Demirovic really got it around the corner. The Fougeron with the header. Jacob Schaffelberg. Sam Kolasinac. Sunjic had 5 seasons at Birmingham City. Kolasinac forward. Begovic to Muharamovdic. Katic. Samir Bajmal, nice little ball. Should have been controlled by Gigovic actually. Sunjic. Ali Ahmed with the stretch.
Talked about the water break having an effect. Well, suddenly now we're seeing that again, where Bosnia have just got a control of the game and made a couple of substitutions and just managed to regain more possession.
So Kyle Larin is coming on. Oluwaseyi, who was unlucky not to find the equaliser, is replaced by the much more experienced Kyle Larin, who had a successful loan spell at Southampton from Real Mallorca this season. What was an ill-fated Southampton season, obviously, in the end.
Will Jesse Marsh's plan work? Because what he wanted was Kyle Larin to have an impact in the second half of this game. Will we see it?
He's a good-looking fella, isn't he?
He's alright.
Ali Ahmed here. Outside of the boot ball is a lovely one, and Kyle Larin was nearly onto it. Just something a little bit different from Ali Ahmed, which is good to see.
Yeah, he's lively, isn't he? He's had more of an impact in the short time that he's been on the pitch than Cameron had on that right-hand side.
Unbeaten in 8 games, Canada, but they have fewer than 15 minutes of normal time to keep that run going. Kone. De Fougeron. Cornelius. Schaffelberg. Cornelius. Eustachio. Kone. I think they'll feel a bit hard done by if they do get nothing from this game, the home side. Kone. Round the corner from Promise. David! Kyle Larin scores for Canada! He's only been on the pitch a matter of moments. But Kyle Larin scores the equalising goal for Canada. And Toronto erupts in celebration. It's 1-1.
Comes from Kone because he's the one now who's going to inject a little bit of pace into the game. Bypasses his man, feeds the ball in. And then that little round the corner pass here from David Promise. And that's that ball as it comes in into Kyle Larin. How quick is the touch, the swivel, the turn? It takes a tiny little deflection past the goalkeeper. Basile, he's got no chance of getting anywhere near it. Such is the strike. Well, that's the impact that Jesse Marsh wanted. That's the attitude of the player coming onto the pitch.
Took a little deflection off Nikola Katic on its way beyond the fingertips of Basile. Canada 1, Bosnia 1. thinking, can we go on and win it? We are in for an intriguing last 10 minutes here in the opening game in Group B. Might be the smallest stadium in this World Cup, but right now it certainly is 40-odd thousand people sounding more like 60-odd thousand.
It's definitely here. It's absolutely brilliant. You know how to get behind the team. He wanted lifting. He needed lifting a little bit. My word, that has just lifted them. All the substitutions, Steve, have had an impact. It's David.
He's claiming a foul, but I don't think the referee is impressed.
No, I think he's probably just caught the defender's studs as he's kicked towards goal. But he's a handball, he really is. But this is the goal, the little give and go round the corner. There you can see he's onside, but it's all about how quickly he can take the ball, how quickly he can get his shot away. He doesn't allow the goalkeeper to set himself, he doesn't allow the defender to get close, uses his body, rolls in perfectly. The finish is beautiful. Yes, it takes a little nick, but that control with his knee. Brilliant from Kyle Lauren.
A 31st international goal on the occasion of his 91st appearance for his country. The ball has gone out of play just for Dedic.
I think there's many Canadian fans who've felt that move to Southampton for Kyle Lauren has helped him just get that confidence up before the World Cup. It makes him a better player coming into this. He's had a difficult time of late.
Sunjic for Bosnia finding Tahirovic. Tahirovic was dispossessed. Referee Facundo Tejo says play on. Garcia's clearance is heading for a Canadian throw. If it goes out, it hasn't actually gone out. The spinning ball has stayed in. Sunjic did well with it too. Mr. Johnston maybe pinned in a little bit here, but he's found a way out. Aliaku brings it down. Kyle Lauren was off after it, but Basile would have got there first. So Kolasinac has stayed down here, hence the boos. The Canadian supporters don't feel that the 32-year-old Kolasinac is as injured. It's cramp, I think. They're saying a substitution, aren't they? They're signalling to the bench that Kolasinac might not be able to carry on here.
Yeah, it does look like cramp though, Steve. You can see the physios are trying to work on it now. I think had it been a worse injury, that would have been a real concern for Bosnia going forward in the World Cup.
Yeah, he's had a good game, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's done very well.
Denis Burnic looks as though he is going to be coming on. As Kolasinac hobbles as swiftly as he can to the near touchline. Substitutions are time limited as well, like throw-ins to 10 seconds, but not if you're injured, which is just as well for Sarah Kolasinac, because he needs a little more than 10 seconds to get off the pitch, and is replaced by Denis Burnic, out of contract at Karlsruhe in the second tier in Germany. He comes on at left back.
We're just going to have to get up to the pace of the game very, very quickly. Being frantic in the second half, and they'll get even more frantic now.
And Jovic wins the throw-in. So fortune favours the brave. Canada brave enough now to go for the win, having been staring a few moments ago down the barrel of the loss. Chanel Koenig with a very poor bit of play indeed. Banishtar wins a corner for Bosnia.
Good goal there, Larea, because he wanted to dive in at first, and that's the issue now towards the end of the game when you feel like you want to win the ball back quicker, and dive in, make the wrong decision. Kept his composure. Just going to have to defend this now. He hasn't defended them well so far in this game.
Almost into the last 5 minutes of normal time. Bosnia's corner kick comes in. Well, complete miss kick by Bernic, who's the man who's just come on. 4 in the box. Larea did pretty well. Schaffelberg couldn't quite get it under his control.
They did great, Steve, because he didn't buy the step over, he just stayed on his feet, knew that he had numbers around him, didn't dive into it. Something that they don't want to do now, haven't got themselves back into the game. Canada is either a penalty or a stupid goal.
It's a throw in to Bosnia, who look tired now. Mardic hauling his body to go and get one of the spare balls from the far touchline.
Almost felt like they got themselves to blame, Steve, in the way that they played. They got the goal and then they sat back and didn't really come out of shape. The quality hasn't been there from them.
I mean, Gigovic almost losing it, Sunjic forward, Cornelius.
I'll go for a corner.
Yeah, it was a slight, well saved, Nikola Katic. It's not a corner, but it is a throw.
At the moment, it's good as a corner because of the way that the players that they've got that can launch the ball in with that long throw. See, Mr. Johnson heading across. We know he's got that low trajectory on the throw.
In it comes from Johnston. Out it goes from Katic, Eustachio. Johnston. Good header again by Katic, who hasn't missed very much. That's not a bad idea. Amedin Demirovic is off after this. He's got the legs to get there. Demirovic holding off Larea. Sunjic. Gigovic. Demirovic running into Cornelius. This David did well. And it's a free kick to Canada.
They did very well. He's just trying to pick the crowd up now. He knows how important this is, the final moments of this game. It's tired bodies, tired legs of the Canadian players. They need every little bit of help that they can get.
Here's Derek Cornelius to Ishmael Koenig. To Fougerolles. Johnston, Ali Ahmed. Ishmael Koenig. Ahmed again, he's made a real difference since he came on. Eustachio, he was hoping rather than knowing somebody was there. He's lashed away by Muharrimovic.
Just having a word with his centre-back there, Fougerolles, who made an overlapping run, and he's saying to him, listen, one thing we can't do is lose a goal here. You've got to keep your shape as much as possible.
Well, for Sergei Barbara, it's a full-time whistle now. He'd shoot your arm off right down the elbow.
Absolutely.
Ishmael Koenig. Johnston forward. Eustachio managed to get there but not control it. Begovic, Demirovic, Sunjic, Tahirovic, bouncing a little bit too high for him. To Fougerolles, Eustachio, Ali Ahmed. It's a free kick to Canada. We're into the 90th minute.
It looks like they're going to make one more change, Canada. I think it's going to be an attacking player. They've just called someone back.
Well, Jonathan Osorio is going to be coming on, bags of experience. This is his home stadium, plays in MLS with Toronto FC. He's going to be on shortly, but not before this free kick. Eustachio. Too close to the goalkeeper, it's a poor delivery. Comfortable take for Nicola Basil.
Yeah, so disappointed when that happens. The one thing you can't do is hit the goalkeeper. You've got to either hit it far left, hit diagonal, or short right.
It's a minimum of 6 to play. Kone with a header. Sunic. Dennis Burnich. Bashtar's done pretty well. That's good defending though. The Fujol played it on to start with Bashtar. It's a goal kick to Canada, and they're ready now to make this stoppage time substitution. Osorio, who played all 3 games for Canada at the last World Cup, is going to be coming on, and it is the captain Eustachio who's going to make way.
I can only guess it's a fitness thing where he might have cramp or just feeling the heat a little bit, because he's put in a really solid performance. The captain, vastly experienced and used all that today.
As is his replacement, 92nd cap, Osorio wearing 21 on the ball here for Canada. Kone let it get away from him. And Begovic for Bosnia. It's a neat little turn by the 18-year-old, and he steps inside. And he went down, and there was no contact at all on him, I don't think. He's still rolling. The play is still going on. Now it's been stopped, but not because Begovic is down, but because Lubovic is down. They're both still down.
The one where he goes to ground. Is there a touch?
He's trodden on his left foot.
Yeah,
Kone's just landed on his left foot. Fair enough.
Yeah, and this is the other one. Just a clash of heads more than anything. They're coming together between the 2 players. There's not much that can be done about that. Wherever the referee feels that he needs to blow, he was the right decision.
It is a free kick to Bosnia and Herzegovina, and it's heart in the mouth maybe for Canada.
It certainly will be. There'll be an element now where it'll be get the ball in the right area, give us an opportunity to go and win the first header.
Gigovic to take this free kick. Goes on from Dedic. A great clearance from this David. Kyle Larin is there, and Larin gets it under control, and he's told back, and that will be a yellow card for Nikola Katic. Well deserved 1-2.
He's more than happy. Katic there, not a problem to take a yellow card. The one thing he didn't want was Kyle Larin running away from him. I think Ryan's smile, as you can see from this, the referee perfectly positioned, right on top of it.
Canada have taken that free kick and just launched it out of play. Nikola Katic, who was part of the Plymouth Argyle side, which knocked Liverpool out of the FA Cup a couple of seasons ago, in the book. Well, their next game is in Vancouver against Qatar. If they win it, they will, you would imagine, certainly be heading through to the knockout stage, but they do want to win this group, because that would mean that they stay in Canada in the round of 32, and if they were to win that, they'd stay in Canada for the round of 16. Oh, that's awful. Given away really, really poorly to Gigovic. And Cornelius is happy that he can make amends for that error. Ismail Kone. Jonathan Osorio. There is time, but not much. Osorio. Ali Ahmed, nice first touch. Scooped up toward Larin. Basil comes. Basil takes.
Yeah, he does well, Basil, just to make sure that he keeps hold of the ball under pressure. You just feel there as the ball came out to Ali Ahmed, he's just got to concentrate on that delivery. I think that's been the biggest takeaway from this game, the final ball, the moments of quality that we expect at the highest level, they just haven't been there. To Fougerolles. Cornelius. Maybe 90 seconds or so to play. Larea. Osorio. Larea can reach this. There are four in the middle. Larea and Larin. Great block. Superb block to deny Larin from Tarek Muharimovic. Felt like he'd done everything right, didn't he, Kyle Larin? He was falling to the right player again. Looking for Larea, the left back. To Fougerolles. Ali Ahmed. Mr. Johnston putting it into a position he was hoping Ali Ahmed could get to, but he was blocked off by Kerim Ayabegovic. Good block this. Oh, it's absolutely brilliant from Muharimovic. Has to get it right, times it perfectly. A lovely touch from Larin, gets the shot and it's blocked.
And that is that. It is a first ever point in World Cup Finals football for Canada, thanks to Kyle Larin's equaliser. It is all square, and that means that Bosnia and Herzegovina draw again. 6 draws on the run now, and both sides will go into match day 2 in Group B with a point on the board. It is a bit of footballing history for Canada, who had to come from behind, deserved their equaliser. Kyle Larin with the goal after Jovan Lukic had headed Bosnia-Herzegovina in front in the first half. A good start to Group B and a bit of history for Canadian football. Canada won, Bosnia-Herzegovina won.
Yeah, not a bad game in the end at all. A point apiece for Canada and Bosnia-Herzegovina means the co-hosts are top of Group B due to receiving fewer yellow cards. Qatar versus Switzerland takes place on Saturday night. And next up for Bosnia are Switzerland and Los Angeles on June 18th, while Canada take on Qatar later the same day in Vancouver. And just a reminder, the top 2 in each of the 12 groups qualify for the round of 32 automatically, followed by the 8 best third-place teams. So it could all get quite messy, and we're definitely not going to start wondering and posturing how teams are going to look at permutations at the moment. Did you enjoy that, right?
I thought it was a good game. I thought Canada were really good, created some good chances. They've done enough to win the game, but I think both teams will take a point.
And what will they take away from that game aside from the point?
I think the performance. I think there was energetic in that first half, and in the second half they kept it going. I feel as though they can rely on their subs, as Larin comes up with a big goal as well. But just the confidence of the way they play, the dominated possession. I think Bosnia found it really hard to get out at times. But if you look at the whole performance, we're really pleased.
And I guess Olivier as well, they know that with Qatar and Switzerland to come, with that point, a win takes them through for sure.
Yeah, because you can finish best third, and just a win, it's okay to go through.
And in terms of performance from the hosts, did you feel like they were the ones most likely to get that winner at the end?
Well, I think they came back really strong after half-time. I think the manager put the things right in their head, and we've seen them with better ambition in that second half.
Yeah, should we go back to the first half then? And that goal for Bosnia, which came after high energy from Canada, didn't it? But they took control as the game slowed down.
Yeah, it did. Talk about class and natural runner, Lukic. You talk about from an attacking point of view, not defensive, but that just little movement just makes that space, and then it's a wonderful finish. You talk about here coming out, Estequio, he shouldn't be coming out in that position here, but Bosnia take advantage of it and put them one up. But at this point, they started to bring confidence a little bit without playing, I would say, great football. It was organised, they were stretched at times, but putting some good blocks. But that goal for them was just massive.
And it was against the run of play early on from Canada, wasn't it? The energy that we thought they would come out with, that high tempo that you were really impressed by.
Yeah, they did. They come out with high tempo. You look at Jesse Marks talking to the team. I actually don't like him. I like the money in the dressing room, get the messages, but you can see how intense he is, and you can see how engaged all those players are. And yeah, they've got a young team. They've got energy in the team, and Jesse Marks is really giving them that energy to go out and try and get something back out of the game.
Many other hosts as well, and that is their first ever World Cup point, Olivier. You know, it's a big landmark moment, isn't it? And they didn't get the winner, but they've got to take a lot from that performance.
Yes, and I want to notice the subs who came on. Promise David with that flick we're gonna see later on. And the good finish from Larin, your mate.
Yes.
We were talking about him.
I was talking about him saying before the game, so it doesn't really count, does it? But if you look up the link up here, it's absolutely brilliant. Two subs combined in there, and gets a little bit lucky with the finish. But it's a next angle which I'm really impressed by, because in this area here, Bosnia in a really good shape in that 5-4-1 situation. And then if we just stop it here, I mean, we're talking about someone like you. You like to come to the ball with that technical ability, putting people, whether you're passing or playing someone in behind. What are you thinking there as a forward?
In that situation, Promise David makes himself free. And just did the perfect flick to his teammates, to Larin, who did really well to turn. Remember me, goal I scored with Milan against Inter, and the fans said, "See Gerato, he turns and he hits well the ball and uses his body." And he was a bit lucky because it's deflected, but at the end of the day,
Absolutely, and that was obviously a time when he made some big substitutions, Jesse March, and he could take on some big players, Micah, and obviously those subs have come on to do a job.
I don't know if we can see that again, because I think it's really important in terms of when you're in a structure, a defender there, you want to plug the gaps, but then you have intelligent players like Giroud and Wazza here in terms of dropping into that little space and making things happen, because at the time, there wasn't that much space where
there wasn't, and you see the shape here, but we've just spoke about it's a 5-4-1, and this is where you need them clever players who have got a little bit of creativity and know what to find the space in tight areas, and this is exactly what David done. He's found the space, and it's a lovely flicking, and of course, it's a little bit of luck with the finish, gets the distraction, but here, if you look, it's so clever in his eye line, in David's eye line. There's no way he can get the ball, and it's a little slight movement which allows him to get on the ball, and then, as I said, the flip. Bit of luck, but I can't think of that.
But just on that, as a defender, as I'm looking at how I can defend that, and you see he got a deflection, it was a time it took for him to turn and shoot, which catches the defender off guard a little bit.
It does, and the ball bounces up, and obviously you need that luck. We were talking as the game was going on. We've both scored goals where you get a little bit of luck, and you need that in big tournaments, and 99% it's a goal like that which win you big things.
I didn't really want to interrupt you, but obviously Darren Camp has joined us in the studio, our refereeing expert, because there are a couple of things we'd like to look at, and there was a little bit of heat here between certain members around this table about the collision that happened. And obviously, Darren, you can tell us why the player wasn't sent off, and in fact, why a penalty was awarded.
Yes, that's right, Gabby. Well, first of all, offside was given, but even without the offside, in my opinion, it's not a penalty, it's not a red card. The goalkeeper clearly plays the ball first, and there's just inevitable contact after that, so it's not serious foul play. The keeper, as you see there, clearly wins the ball, and that's, for me, clearly not a red card.
Wayne disagrees.
It's a red card. It's a red card, and as Dan said,
even though he's offside there.
You forget the offside. We've seen it before where players have gone through the offside or the whistle's gone, and it's a red card. I just think it's very dangerous play. I know he wins the ball, but he follows through. He hits him in the temple. That's the worst place you can get hit. You can get knocked out. You might come back in a week's time and have delayed concussion. For me, look at his neck. That is, for me, it's a clear red card.
Yeah, not in my opinion at all, Wayne. It's a goalkeeper winning the ball, and there's just inevitable contact. There's no brutality in that challenge.
I don't think it's the first time we've disagreed.
No, but it was, your point was when we were watching the game live, if this was a tackle and the player hadn't made any attempts to pull out.
Yeah, well, when you see players win the ball and it's with a reasonable force, they follow through and then they go and get a red card. So it's exactly the same, but it's with his hands. It's easier to move your hands back than it is your left.
Olivia?
You need to ask the ref about the rules, but it's true that as a striker I would have been frustrated like not to get a penalty on that one. But in another hand, I understand what Darren says, and he hit the ball first, and it's hard for him to get his hands off the striker's head. So.
Well, while we've got Darren here, something that really filled your cup, filled your sail, got your juices going. We're past the watershed, but for the first time in football and World Cup history, a new law was invoked. We had a reverse throw-in.
That's right, we did, yes. The player taking the throw-in, as soon as he picks up the ball, he's wasting a little bit of time. He's probably forgot the new law change. The referee puts him on the clock and advises him he has 5 seconds to get the ball back in play. You can see the referee making the signal 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and the ball wasn't in play, so the throw-in is reversed, and it's a Canadian throw-in as a result. First time.
You did a little fist pump, didn't you? You can see actually, you spotted this a lot about Canada, how quickly they took their throw-ins, how quickly they were kind of, galvanised into action. You could see it even there actually, how one of the players came off the bench and threw it to the Canadian.
Yeah, well, I think as well it was time to get back in the game, but I think like from the start of the game, Canada obviously they knew the rules, but I think they felt if they could play on the front foot, and if Bosnia were out of shape, the quicker they could get the ball back into play, the easier it would have been to try and get some space.
Darren, thank you very much. We will lose you in just a second, but first of all we're going to have a look at some of Canada's chances. And they had quite a few, didn't they, that they will look back at and maybe rue. Which of these do you think they should have converted?
Well, yeah, in that first half, I thought it was good. It was just about that composure. You see there, Jonathan David, he just sort of rushes it. Oliver said in the first half there, he's probably got to put his foot through it, go with a bit more conviction. But you could see the confidence was growing in the game with these chances.
That have been ruthless.
Ruthless, yes. And then the second one?
On that one, you're right. I didn't see his touch. This one is to put it down.
Yeah.
Because of the bounce after, it's harder to hit the ball.
Yeah, I think if he has a touch on that one, he has a better chance. And this was great defending from Klasridge.
Wow.
It's tight. It's great play from Canada. And what a clearance that is. It's incredible. It's great anticipation
and you know what, also because the keeper deflected. Look, you will see on the other angle. Look, deflected. How come you can save it?
Yeah, it's great anticipation.
Wow, amazing. I felt sorry for him because on the goal, Larin's goal, he was a bit behind. Otherwise, man of the match. My man.
Let's get some reaction, shall we, from the Canada dressing room in the shape of the manager, Jesse Marsh.
Jesse, take us through that last water break. You were very animated speaking to your team. What did you say?
Yeah, we felt like we had them. You know, like we were starting to push the game. The subs came on and made a big difference. The tempo got higher, and we could see that they were fading. So I told them that we've got them. Now it's time to put your foot on the jugular and go for the goal.
I imagine, though, the only frustration you'll have out of this game is it's not 3 historic points, except for 1 historic point.
Yeah, you know, I'm disappointed with the first half. I just felt we were tentative. We didn't play as aggressively as I would have liked. You know, we've got to find a way that when we say we want to be aggressive and we say we want to play intensive and we want to be hard to play against, that we actually do it, right? So we talked about it afterwards, and second half from the first second we stepped on the pitch, it was different. So I told them we've got to learn these lessons and we've got to learn them quick. We still have everything in hand. That's a really big point for us, right? To keep ourselves in the group and make sure that we're not losing any ground. But we have to make sure that the next performance is a reflection and a learning point from what we did today.
And let's talk about momentum. You called on Toronto to show out and be red, and they were. Going to Vancouver, what is the message to maintain the momentum on the field and in the stands.
Yeah, look, Toronto, the city's been alive this week, so we've really enjoyed being here. I expect Vancouver to be the same. All the red jerseys were outstanding. We need the same in Vancouver. Keep pushing this team. Keep rooting on the goals. We got to give these guys confidence and make them believe that they can be really winners, right? So we'll keep pushing.
See you in Vancouver, Jesse.
Thank you.
Well, our next live game sees the third host nation get underway. USA versus Paraguay in Group D. That's later tonight, 1:30 on BBC One Live Play. Tomorrow sees 5 times world champions Brazil take on the semi-finalists of 4 years ago, Morocco, from 10:30 p.m. That's followed by Scotland's World Cup return, Haiti, the opposition. Coverage begins at 1:10. And the other game in Group B sees Qatar take on Switzerland. You can listen to that on BBC Sounds from 8 o'clock. And pretty decent start from the host nations so far. What you don't want to do is, if you're the host, is lose your first game. There's a positivity in the air for Canada.
Yeah, what we saw Mexico last night, a little bit frustrating in the game, and they got the 2-0 win. And then today it was more about the performance. I think they were frustrated because they were better than Bosnia. I thought today it was just in that first half. Jesse Marsh mentioned that he was frustrated, a little bit more conviction. And in the second half, they went through it. I feel as though when you look at the overall picture, Canada can be really happy because it looks like they can use their squad.
Well, speaking of happiness, have a little look at this, because this is the fans' park in Vancouver, which is where they go next, and that is the equaliser, and look what it means. And it's great in a nation that, you know, its national sport is ice hockey and lacrosse, and this is the Toronto fan park. To get that kind of real buzz for football or soccer, whatever you want to call it, Wayne, they're loving it.
Yeah, I mean, the two of us have seen it. We've played obviously over in the States, and it is going way much bigger, and you know, this is brilliant. I couldn't mind beating that one as well.
How good is the World Cup though? You know, even, we joke about you guys playing it. I was unfortunate I didn't play the World Cup, but to see the fans, the enjoyment, it started now and it feels massive.
This is what you wanted. You wanted the joy. We don't want to talk about the negative things that are all there. They're all the stories that we know, but this is what it's about. It's about the fans having a great time, and we will get you to a fan park at some point, Wayne. Don't worry about that.
When England's winning, I'll be there.
It's a soccer fan park, that mile down there. Thank you very much, Olivier. Loved having you in our World Cup party. Micah, as always, gets the party going. Bosnian fans were in full voice until they were struck down by a dose of laryngitis. Jesse Marsh's men march on to Vancouver next. From all of us, a very good night.
World Cup comes to Canada. Atmosphere is just incredible. Bosnia have the lead. It's off the cross by Vancouver forwards. Toronto erupts in celebration.
HD.